Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you this. Have you ever felt the sting of betrayal? The suffocating weight of injustice? All while your oppressors wore masks of virtue. It burns, doesn't it? A fire you can't extinguish because their cruelty hides in the shadows, unnoticed by the world. But what if I told you someone has seen it all? Every whisper, every whismirk, every knife they twisted behind your back, it's all been recorded. You see, the universe doesn't miss a thing. Call it God, fate, karma, or simply the natural order. Justice is always watching. And when it strikes, it doesn't just tap on the door, kicks it open, and demands a reckoning. But here's the truth: they don't want you to know the very pain they inflicted on you. That's your weapon. That's the steel being forged in fire, the storm brewing that will one day wash their sins clean off this earth. Because justice, my friends, doesn't just arrive, it erupts. And when it does, it makes a grand spectacle of those who thought they were untouchable. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why wait? Why not fight fire with fire? Because patience is the ultimate killer of egos. The longer you wait, the heavier the scales of justice tip in your favor. And when it finally falls, it'll be glorious. There's a peculiar pain in being wronged by those who wear masks of decency, isn't there? It's not just the cruelty itself, it's the twisted irony of it all. They smile in public, act kind in the light, and yet in the shadows their true nature reveals itself. They plot, they scheme, they wound you where no one can see. It's as if their cruelty thrives on the illusion of their goodness. And the world? Oh, the world seems so eager to believe their facade. They clap for the saintly show, oblivious to the darkness lurking just beneath the surface. You've felt it, haven't you? That sting of betrayal, the sharpness of their actions cutting deeper, because no one else notices. Their words, so sweet on the outside, carry venom meant to paralyze you. Their gestures of kindness are laced with hidden intentions. It's maddening. It's isolating. And worst of all, it makes you question yourself. Am I overreacting? Am I the problem? But deep down, you know the truth. You see it. You feel it. The cruelty is real. The deceit is real. And yet they walk free. No judgment, no consequences, no accountability. The world turns a blind eye to their sins because their masks are too convincing, their performances too polished. You're left to endure it in silence, the pain pressing harder on your soul each day. Every time they smile at you in public, it feels like a mockery, as though they know they've won. It's infuriating, isn't it? To be wronged and to have no one believe you, to watch them bask in praise while you carry the weight of their hidden sins. Their cruelty, their lies, their betrayal, it festers like a wound only you can see. There's a silent witness to everything, a force that sees what no one else does. In the moments when you feel utterly alone, suffocating under the weight of betrayal, remember this: nothing escapes its gaze. Every hidden act of cruelty, every word spoken in venom, every lie crafted in shadows, they're all seen, recorded, and marked. Even when the world pretends not to notice, this force never blinks, never forgets, and never turns away. Think about those moments when their actions cut you the deepest. They thought no one was watching. They believed they had perfected their disguise, shielding their malice from the eyes of others. But they overlooked something greater. There's a justice that watches from beyond human perception, a silent observer who doesn't need to call them out immediately to know their truth. Their laughter may echo in the moment, but it rings hollow in the presence of something that sees through their facade. It's not about immediate retribution either. This witness doesn't rush or falter. It moves with purpose, biding its time. They may believe they've escaped judgment because no one confronted them, no one held them accountable. But there's a record being kept, a ledger that weighs their actions against their words, their deeds against their lies. And you, in your moments of despair, may feel invisible. You may feel as though no one cares, as though their cruelty will go unchecked forever. But the truth is, their every action is laid bare before this force. It's not fooled by appearances or charmed by their performances. What's hidden in the shadows cannot remain there forever. There's an unyielding, unshakable balance in this universe, and the silent witness ensures that every secret sin is seen. Justice is a patient force, one that doesn't rush to act but moves with precision and inevitability. It waits, watches, and calculates, ensuring every piece falls into place before it strikes. Those who commit cruelty in the dark may believe they are untouchable. They live their lives as though their actions are untraceable, their sins hidden from view. But justice is not blind, it sees what others miss. It may not act immediately, but that does not mean it is absent. Its delay is not weakness, it is strategy. The weight of justice is not something one can escape forever. It looms, invisible but undeniable, growing heavier with each transgression. For those who think they've outrun it, the truth is far more chilling. Every step they take only tightens the noose. Justice is not concerned with their timelines or their expectations. It operates on its own terms, and when it arrives, it doesn't simply correct the wrong, it balances the scales in ways no one saw coming. The deceitful often mistake silence for safety. They believe that as long as no one speaks out, as long as no visible force opposes them, they are free to continue. But justice doesn't need a witness to act. It is self-sufficient, driven by a natural order that demands balance. It has no favorites, no allegiances. It cares not for excuses or appearances. It weighs actions alone, stripping away the lies, the performances, the masks. When justice finally acts, it is swift and unrelenting. It doesn't knock politely, it breaks down the doors of those who thought they were invincible. It leaves no room for denial, no chance for escape. For every hidden cruelty, every unpunished wrong, justice gathers its strength, ensuring that when it strikes, the blow is absolute. Pain has a way of transforming us, doesn't it? In the moment, it feels unbearable, like a weight pressing down on your chest, suffocating you. But there's something extraordinary about pain. It sharpens you. It strips away illusions and forces you to see things as they are. The suffering you've endured because of their hidden cruelty has not been for nothing. It's been forging you, reshaping you into something stronger, something unbreakable. Every tear you've shed, every sleepless night you've endured, has been a lesson. Pain is a ruthless teacher, but it leaves behind wisdom. It shows you who people truly are, reveals their masks, and forces you to confront the raw, unfiltered truth of your situation. It's painful, yes, but it's also empowering. You begin to see through the lies, the manipulations, the false kindness. Pain doesn't just wound you, it awakens you. And in that awakening, you find a power you never knew you had. The very thing they used to try and break you becomes the foundation of your strength. Pain builds resilience, and resilience breeds clarity. You start to understand that their cruelty says more about them than it does about you. Their actions, their words, their attempts to tear you down, it's all a reflection of their own weakness. Pain also has a way of forcing growth. It pushes you to your limits, stretching you beyond what you thought you could endure. And once you've endured it, you realize you're no longer the same person. You're stronger, wiser, and more determined. The pain they caused didn't destroy you, it refined you. It's like fire to steel, burning away the impurities and leaving behind something sharper, something more resilient. They thought they were breaking you, but all they did was prepare you for something greater. There's a certain arrogance in those who believe their deceit will go unnoticed forever. They move through life with an air of invincibility, confident that their hidden cruelty will remain in the shadows. They've convinced themselves that their lies are impenetrable, their manipulation too clever to be exposed. But the truth is, the seeds of their downfall are sown by their own actions. Every cruel word, every calculated betrayal, every act of malice, they all carry a price. They may think they've won because the world hasn't caught up to them yet. They take comfort in the applause they receive, the trust they've deceived, and the image they've crafted. But beneath that illusion lies a fragile foundation, one that cracks with every step they take. The universe has a way of evening the score, and their deceit is no exception. Their carefully built facade will crumble, not because someone pulls it down, but because it was never truly solid to begin with. What they fail to realize is that the longer they escape accountability, the harder their fall will be. Justice has a way of building momentum, gathering strength with every wrong they commit. The weight of their actions doesn't disappear, it accumulates, pressing down on them like an invisible force. And when it finally becomes too much to bear, it will break them in ways they never anticipated. Their downfall won't come quietly. It will be loud, messy, and undeniable. The very people they deceived will turn against them, the lies they told will unravel, and the cruelty they hid will be brought into the light. What they thought was their strength, their cunning, their ability to manipulate will become their undoing. And as they face the consequences of their actions, they will come to understand the cost of their cruelty. Hope is a stubborn thing. Even in the face of cruelty, betrayal, and injustice, it lingers, refusing to be extinguished. It's a quiet whisper in the chaos, a flicker of light in the darkest moments. When you've been wronged, when the weight of their actions threatens to crush you, hope is what keeps you standing. It reminds you that justice, though delayed, is never denied. It's the belief that the scales will eventually tip in your favor, that the truth will come to light, and that those who have wronged you will face the consequences of their actions. Retribution, though often misunderstood, is not about revenge. It's about balance, about restoring what was taken, about making things right. It's not something you chase, it's something that finds you when the time is right. The pain you've endured, the silence you've kept, the strength you've mustered, they've all been building toward a moment when justice will arrive. And when it does, it won't just settle the score, it will elevate you. It will remind you of your worth, of your resilience, and of the fact that no one's cruelty can define you. There's a profound power in believing that your suffering has not been in vain. It's not just blind optimism, it's an unshakable faith in the order of the universe. It's the understanding that no wrong goes unnoticed, and no cruelty goes unpunished. And while it may take time, justice has a way of delivering outcomes more poetic and fitting than anything you could imagine. It's not a question of if justice will come, but when. And until that day arrives, hope will carry you forward. It will remind you that even in your darkest moments, there's a light waiting to break through the shadows. So stay with me, because by the end of this, you won't just believe in justice, you'll become it. This is your moment, your transformation, your rise. They thought they could bury you, but little did they know, you're a seed. And when you sprout, their shadows won't be able to contain your light. Justice is coming. And it's bringing hellfire for those who dared to cross you.